get into today's recap, which is going to be Wednesday, December 24th, which is Christmas Eve. Welcome to Unix Trading. Market opened this morning and I was looking at NQ, ES, and gold. As we open, we form a crossover, which is going to be the VWAP crossover to 200 MA. So automatically, I already know we trying to trend up. And I was also looking at this major supply area, which is going to be yesterday high. And we have supply been tested 1, 2, 3 times, which have that downtrend and come back again. We're rejecting that area. Now we break it. So I was looking for price to break hold that area for continuation to the upside. So let's get into the 5-minute chart. By the way, when I trade with my 1 hour on the left side and my 5-minute on the right side. Okay. So break hold, we fail, force on the break. And when we fail, I see that volume died in this area. So I enter for a sell on my false trade and I lost $60, right? And now, once I exited out, I noticed that this was a bad trade. We're retesting this white line, which was yesterday's high. And I exited the trade. We have formed a 3-buy play. I wanted to take the trade on the 3-buy play, but I was also looking at a better setup, which I'm going to come into, which was actually gold. And I didn't take the trade, but imagine if I would have took this trade because I wanted a better setup. Actually, that's why I didn't take it with a better risk reward. I didn't take it, so I waited. I missed out on that one, which was going to be $1,000, almost $1,000 trade, right? And for a quick stop loss, let me go for a stop loss, which was going to be a buy. And I was only risking about, say, when we cross this major supply area, which is this thick green line, and I was only risking $100 to $125 or $150 per se, right? And to make that, which wasn't bad for a risk to reward. So let's done with that trade, and we're gonna go into NQ. So what I'm saying is was psychology pretty much. I was also waiting for perfect retest on this trade. Waiting for perfect retest for price to come back and retest this area, but then I missed out on it. That's one of the main reasons why I didn't take the trade, because of that retest. And I didn't want a candle chase. Okay, so we're gonna go now into NQ. I think it was NQ, yes, NQ. Let's go into NQ. So coming into NQ, what I did with NQ is I took a trade actually, which I knew also I was looking at basically the same setup where we form a high low break their previous day high and break yesterday's high for a move all the way back to this supply zone, which is going to be this 25,879. If we can go back, we can see that this area was a downtrend supply. Price came and retest that supply zone area right there. We made that flushes then. So that's what I was targeting, and actually price make that move to that area. But I entered the trade, and the reason being why I exited out the trade earlier is because when I see that I made $1,200 with gold, I get excited. But I didn't respect my 1 hour rule, right? I didn't stick to my plan, which I was planning to take profit right up here, which was going to be $1,200 on that trade, right? I think I entered somewhere around this area, which is going to be $1,200. And for stop loss, if a price break hold this green thick area, which was this major supply, which I say MJS, major supply on that area, that's how I mark my levels. And I could have held the trade for the 1 hour rule, which was I took a trade at 10:35 and it hit my target every time when I 1 hour rule, which was one of my bread and butter, one of my main secret sauce on the 1 hour rule, okay? Which hit my target all the way on to 11:45. It hit my target at 11:45. And I left money on the table right here, 1,000 some hundred, because of I didn't really actually follow my rule. And imagine that was the only trade I got, I would have made money off it. But it's because I got excited because of I see that 1,200 trade and I just exited the trade immediately, completely right here for 100. I think it was $189, right? $189. Yeah, that's why I exited the trade for $189, which I left a lot of money on the table, about $1,000 on the table. And this is all trading psychology. because I get too excited and it couldn't control my emotion. So if you follow my video yesterday, the previous video I loaded, you can see I lost money, which I was down $159,500, and I end up actually today making $1,330. I appreciate it. I take it. The execution wasn't good. This is just setting me for a start for me to get back to my $5,000 goal. But my $5,000 goal would have been accomplished if I would have just sticking to my 1 hour rule and let price hit my target. And I want you guys to see this struggle. Take a very important note, me struggling with my psychology. I got a 95% win rate on my playbook. But again, I couldn't trade my setup by not controlling my emotions or even controlling my thought process and also stick to my plan. I get too excited. I don't want to lose money. Volume died. But I know eventually with a fail and reclaim on a key level and form like a trend up, I know a lot of times volume will die, but we'll make that squeeze and go up, right? So market close at 1 o'clock actually, by the way, and this is how price end up. But I know that if I shoot up, we'll probably get that target right there. And I know everything is a probability. I didn't stick to the probability. I didn't stick to the 1 hour rule. So I left money on the table on that aspect. Okay. So now let's go to the juicy part where I took silver. Let's go into silver right there. So in silver, again, I'm making a mistake, which is very important, a very psychological mistake that cost me money. That's costing me money over time. My target was for VWAP, and with silver, I would have passed my Eval. But again, I exited too early and left $4,000 on the table. So I have a precise entry right up here on this level, in this area right there. And I was only risking about $300 or $350. So my stop loss was going to be about $400 or $350. Once we break hold this yellow line or this area right there, then I was going to exit out the trade. But then pricing exit out the trade, all I could have done is put in for a break even, right? I didn't do the break even. So I took profit right there. I get excited when I see that $1,200. I took profit. I get excited. I didn't even wait for it to hit my first target, which is going to be that candle right there, this area right there at the top, which was going to be $3,500. I think that would have put me close to passing my eval. And VWAP would have let me pass my Eval today. And all that money that I lost on my previous video when I lost that $4,000 loss that I took by revenge trade, which I talked about on my previous video. So if you haven't seen it, go ahead and watch it and understand my struggle and my trading psychology. Okay? And I missed out. And say if I would have held this trade all the way, that would have been $6,000. Or if I would have patiently passed my Eval, which I was at $3,500, all I had to do is $1,500 to pass my EVAP. Then today would have been a good Christmas gift for me to be able to make at least $6,000, $1,000 there on ES, and I would have make so much money today, or even $6,000, $7,000. Walk away with $6,000, $7,000 today, which would have been good for me to cash out on say Monday, next week Monday. Yeah, but I'm just not by not sticking by my plan and trading psychology. So these are the struggles that I go through. And what I'm trying to do right here is be able to manage my emotions so I can be able to capitalize on my winning trade and cut my losers. Hopefully, I can go with this mindset 2026, which I'm planning to do, and just change my complete mindset, man. Wait on the 1 hour play, wait on that 1 hour moves and the 1 hour rule, which I didn't wait on the 1 hour rule actually. So I had this trade and I didn't wait on that 1 hour rule. See, price came. I took the trade, was at 11 o'clock, right? I entered at 11 o'clock, and all I could do is wait for 11, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, price came and smashed it. Again, my 1 hour rule. Because a lot of times, for price to hit most of the time my target, it takes about 1 hour, and that's majority, 90% of the time. A lot of times, it will shoot up in 35 minutes or 20 minutes, shoot up straight up, which is going to be a huge candle. But mostly when it's getting choppier like this, a lot of times price would take about 1 hour for it to hit my target. I couldn't stand there. So I broke my 1 hour rule. I couldn't hold for price to hit my target. And I just left so much money on the table, $4,000 on the table. And this is something that I struggle with. And I hope you guys can see my struggle. And I've been trading now for 3.5 years consistently and recently started trading futures. And hopefully I could be able to change this and see through my mistakes. And this is how I record and write my recaps and record my mistake in journal by doing a video journal and write on a chat. So that's something that I would talk about more into my next videos, okay? And hopefully this you can learn from my lessons and we all can learn and grow together in this channel. So once again, welcome to Unique Trading, and I appreciate you guys for joining me, watching my journey through my struggles, psychological mistakes, technical mistakes that I make, and hopefully this could change over time and become more profitable. So these are the things that really hold me from becoming a profitable trader or making more money into the market and squeeze. And I just had to tough it out on my next trade. And hopefully you guys could join me again and watch my next recap and see my journey. I appreciate you guys and thank you for watching.